Hello adventurers, welcome back. Today I want to talk about everybody's favorite skill in the Elder Scrolls series. I of course am talking about lockpicking. I want to talk about the potential for lockpicking in a future Elder Scrolls game. Maybe that's Elder Scrolls 6, maybe not. We don't know how they're going to create Elder Scrolls 6 in its skill system, but I will assume that lockpicking will still be a part of it. So how can we make lockpicking more fun, more engaging, specifically for rogue characters, while also not leaving out like warriors and of course wizards? Okay, so let's talk about the act of lockpicking itself. I'm going to assume that the Elder Scrolls 6 will be using the same minigame as Skyrim and Fallout. But I think that if they're going to do this, they should make it to where time still flows while you're lockpicking. It doesn't freeze everything. You can still get caught by guards and whatnot, be seen by civilians who can report you. And I think that our perks should make it easier for us not to be caught, or give us advantages for using the lockpicking skill tree to make it worth it. Okay, so this is how I think lockpicking should work. The higher your skill is leveled up, the easier it should become. We shouldn't have to get 5 different perks just to make apprentice, adept, all the way to master locks easier. It should be based on our skill level, not 5 perks. Now let's talk about the act of lockpicking again. I said time will flow like normal. This would be disadvantaged for like warriors and wizards because they won't be using lockpicking as much as a rogue would. A rogue would be leveling up the lockpicking much more if they're going in a kind of a thief route. So what I would suggest is that we should be able to also break locks using our power attacks, and the chance of us breaking the lock should be based on our skill level. If we have a skill level of 25 in one-handed or two-handed, and we use a power attack, it should be guaranteed to break an apprentice lock, with a smaller chance to breaking higher tiered locks where we might have to use more power attacks to eventually break it. But as we're doing that, it should be making a lot of noise, which would attract other enemies, or it would alert the guards. And this would give an advantage to rogue characters who can just pick the lock easier. Because if you're playing a heavy knight fighter type character, he probably shouldn't be trying to be a thief and breaking down doors and stuff like that anyway. He's gonna clear the room of all the enemies in the dungeon and then start looting. So really shouldn't be too much of an issue. Mages or wizards, they should just have some kind of spell that allows them to open locks like they had in past Elder Scrolls. And then it should just be, I would say, just one spell, and then that spell just levels up with you, like just based on your skill level. If I have open lock and then I have 50 alteration or whatever spell is going to be a part of, or whatever school is going to be a part of, I should say. If I have 50 alteration, for example, and then the lock is an adept one, it should just unlock it. Spell casting should also make noise like it does in like Skyrim. But of course, I totally welcome illusion spells, making your spells quieter with their quiet casting perk. So you could combine those two for a nice combo of being able to unlock things quieter. So this allows lockpicking to become more challenging, while also not, shoving aside wizards or fighters. Wizards and fighters shouldn't be burglarizing shops and stuff. That would be rogue type characters, unless of course you're a mixed class or something. Okay, so let's talk about actual skills of lockpicking, how we can give advantages to rogues and more benefits for rogues who are using lockpicking to open locks. Okay, first let's look at some of the ones from Skyrim and see which ones would translate well for a new lockpicking skill tree. First off, we're going to remove all those dumb novice, apprentice, adept, expert, and master skills. Instead, it's just going to be one perk that will base it off your skill level, or it will just base it off your skill level in general. So we have the Quick Hands perk from Skyrim, able to pick locks without being noticed. I think we could translate this into a 2-level perk thing, where you can put one perk into it and it slows down time, maybe cuts it in half, so you have more time to pick the lock. And then I would say maybe the second level actually just completely stops it. But the second level should be a higher skill level, 70 or 80. And the first one maybe you can get at 30 or something. Wax Key is another skill in Skyrim. The Wax Key is a really interesting one. You can use it to get the key to a place that resets, and that way you don't have to keep breaking the lock. It's really not a great one, but I do like it in there. It's a funny one to have, and I think it should stay. because we should have some fun perks as well. Golden Touch, find more gold in chests. I believe the way this one works is based on the wiki. It gives you 20 to 100 gold for dungeon chest that you unlock, and then things like dead bodies and urns have a chance of having 2 to 10 more gold. I really like this one, but I think it needs to come earlier than what it normally does, which you get at 60 lockpicking. I think this should be like a 40 lockpicking, maybe 50, because it's a nice perk, but it's just coming in too late at 60. But I think it will fit nicely into the lockpicking skill tree. Treasure Hunter, 50% chance, 50% greater chance of finding special treasure. I think that is like, it could be another piece of armor or something like that, maybe an enchanted gear. Locksmith allows you to start the pick closer to the opening position. I think this is fine as well. Unbreakable, this is the controversial one because the skeleton key exists. This is a good perk, but since the skeleton key exists and everybody's going to get the skeleton key, it kind of makes it worthless. It's actually the reason why I don't like the skeleton key, because I hate that it completely destroys an entire perk tree. That's why I don't like it. But I understand why everybody uses it, because lockpicking really isn't good, but it is fun. Okay, so those are all the ones from Skyrim that I'm going to bother to talk about. Let's talk about some potential perks we could get. I already told you that I would change the quick hand ones to be slowing down time 1 point in, and then the second point will completely stop time, making it easier to unlock things. I would also throw in something like maybe we have a detect locks skill that lets you use a power that lets you kind of see locked things, kind of like how the detect life spell works or whatever. Could be useful for finding hidden loot. I also think we should have another skill that works for chest. Any chest that needs to be unlocked, it should have a guarantee of having 1 additional item, and we should have maybe 2 levels of this, maybe 2 to 3 levels. Maybe, yeah, I could see us using 3 levels, but 1 to 3, we'll say 1 to 3 levels, and it guarantees an additional item, and the item will be randomized of whatever could be in the chest, basically. This could make lockpicking a lot more fun. So it may be a chest that only has 2 items in it. Oh, well, you have 1 perk point to it. Now it has guaranteed 3 items, 4 items, 5 items now. And, you know, it would just make lockpicking a lot more fun. Other things that they could really help lockpicking are, honestly, we need like these master locks that actually carry good loot in them. I think master locks should have a higher chance of having like rarer loot, more valuable loot, like enchanted items and stuff like that, because there usually aren't that many master locks like in Skyrim, and that's why they should have like a guarantee of some kind. This would make lockpicking a bit better, because you could, like, maybe there are some chests that are like, because think about it, I said warriors would have to have a high skill to be able to break the lock. So if it's a master lock, they're probably, unless you're really high leveled, you're probably not going to have a high enough skill to break that lock. So for a lock picking person who can still pick that lock at a lower level, they should have some kind of like reward to look forward to. I also think that we should have like, you know, maybe every court, you know, the kings or whatever, the jarls, they should all have like some kind of secret safe that's like always a master lock or something. And maybe the cities that actually have walls should actually have like a higher master lock hidden somewhere that you can try to sneak to get, and then maybe the ones without walls will go down to like an expert, maybe even adept. I don't know. You gotta like change a lot to make lockpicking good, but I think we got a good list of things here. I also think that we should have more punishing jail time, I guess. Like, we should have a bigger penalty for if we go to jail. If the bigger our crime is, the worse the punishment is. This could make breaking out of jail using lockpicking more valuable. But honestly, that's something I'd like to cover in another video. But like I said, it would be more valuable for lockpicking in general. And I think that's about all I have for today. At this point, I'm just going to be rambling. So yeah, let's make lockpicking more fun and more valuable. I'm sure not everybody's going to agree with me. I'm sure everybody wants to keep it super easy and useless. I've seen people say it shouldn't be a skill. I disagree with that, because I think that a game like the Elder Scrolls really should have like really mundane or silly skills. Elder Scrolls has always been a really good game to role play in, and I think you need skills like that to make fun characters. But anyway, you can let me know what you think in the comments. Come up with your own ideas. Let me hear them. I'd love to hear it. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want more content like this. Bye.